First question on the House side. Is there anything left to be surprised at, or do we pretty much know? We're 3 days into a 4-day markup. Do we pretty much know what this bill is going to look like?
We do, and later today, this morning, we're going to get the outline from the Senate. But I can tell you that within the last hour, I got a statement from Steve Bannon, the headlines crossing the terminal as we speak. And he's actually putting his support behind the House version of the private equity, of the carried interest loophole, rather. Now, you'll remember that there's that 3-year minimum that they're requiring in the House version of the tax bill to qualify for capital gains. Previously, Mr. Bannon had called for a complete closing of that. But I'm told by a source close to Steve Bannon that they're putting their support behind the carried interest, the 3-year term limit for that in the House version, David, in order to pressure Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. We all know about the tensions between Steve Bannon and Mitch McConnell to get that in the Senate version, which, of course, we're only about an hour or two away from getting an outline of.
Exactly. So let's go over to the Senate side for a minute. We're going to get at least the outline of what they want to do over the Senate side. How come the Senate gets to decide, essentially? As I understand it, the reporting on Washington is, the House can do what it wants to do, but the Senate's going to get to decide.
Yeah, there's always that awkward tension between House members and Senate members about the Senate taking forever. But look, the House is on pace to get this bill voted on and the tax package voted on by next week. That would put them on pace to get it done by the end of the year. It's a bit more of a conservative bill than you would have than the Senate is likely to take up. That's why Steve Bannon and his outside political army could really make this fight interesting. They view this as a populist approach with this carried interest loophole. On the flip side of that, the White House is trying to get some centrists, people like Senator Joe Manchin, people like Senator Heidi Heitkamp, in order to get them on board with the tax bill. But this is where the politics, David, really influence the policy, because case in point, what happened in Virginia just the other day, a lot of Democrats looking at that, looking at the political tea leaves and saying, hey, wait a minute, we've got to reassess if we can actually get on board with this tax package or not.
So what effect will those elections we had just 2 days ago, what will they have?
Well, I think it makes it interesting from the standpoint that the centrist Democrats are really in a political tug of war between the left, the people like Senator Elizabeth Warren, the Warren wing of the Democratic Party, as well as folks within the Republican Party who are saying there is a strong basis of support for Republican and for President Trump in particular in your state. Look no further than someone like Senator Joe Manchin. So I think that as that continues to evolve, we saw that Democrats were able to stop reform to health care and the health care battle. But tax reform is a much different plan. And people, as we all know, at the end of the day, like to see their taxes cut.
So we haven't seen much bipartisanship up on Capitol Hill for quite some time. It's not just under the Trump administration. Is there any serious prospect for bipartisan support for something out of the Senate side?
I don't see it. I think that you're going to see folks try to get there, but at the end of the day, from my reporting, I can tell you I don't see any Democrats getting on board with the Republican tax plan.